I've been thinking lately a lot about relationships, not just relationships with significant others, but relationships with friends, with family, anything where it's like you have to connect with someone. I realize now what I need when I connect with someone for it to be a long-term relationship. I mean, even that is something, I guess, of me deciding if it is going to be a long-term relationship or not. But I think anyone that I would meet, I would want it to be a long-term relationship. Cause I've been thinking heavy on what that actually means to me, or what me and that person would have to agree to for that to happen. And I realized it really takes a strong individual emotionally and intelligently to be able to maintain a relationship for a very long time, because it takes understanding someone for who they are now and being open to accepting who they will turn into, because I realize we're all down like a path or a journey. So I'm going to adapt. I'm going to transform so many times. I'm going to have more desires, more dreams, more wants, more things that I might want to shed about myself, or something that somebody might enjoy about me, but I realize I can't carry that characteristic going to my next life or my next journey. So I think anyone in a relationship with someone will have to understand that too. And I think that's just, it's very hard to understand sometimes. When I know I don't really hear the conversation. I don't know if that could be an issue with what's going on in the world today. But I see it as, it'll be hard because I realize with myself, I'm the type of person that I'm always seeking knowledge in something. I'm always ready to adapt. I'm always ready to like shed something or gain the next skill. So I understand with that, when I do that, there's a side of myself that I always look at as bad or negative for the moment, or something that I just need to shed. Like it could be a habit, it could be environments, it could be certain type of conversations, certain type of music, certain type of entertainment. It could be so many things to where I realize when I'm ready to go to the next step, these things are going to have to get cut off. Not to say that it'll be like that forever, but I have to shut this side of myself down to get to this next thing. And then I realized with the relationship with someone, they will have to understand that, and then there has to be comfort for it, because I know some of my habits to where I realized I don't want to be like this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. It put me in a state to where it was hard to understand how that person can accept me with me having a certain trait. Like, and I think that's always been a thing with love for me, of I can clearly see the ugly and the bad in me in some of my like daily life or some of my habits. So I'm looking at that person that I'm opening up to and letting getting close to me, see that side of myself too, and then it does get this tricky feeling, and I think that's when emotional intelligence come into play, because I know how I'm seeing myself at the moment, and I know how I feel, but I can't let that like mess up what we have going on, and I just have to trust that you actually are accepting me for who I am at this moment, and accepting that you get to see this new side of me or see this ugly side of me too, and you will still love me with having the access to see that. That definitely doesn't come easy to me. I don't know if that's the Virgo in me, but it doesn't come easy. Look, I'm always ready to see it, get past it, And then I do a thing where I don't have an issue with going in isolation to fix something or to get into the next step. And I understand that too with relationships of, can the people around you or the people you're in a relationship with understand that that's how you could be, or again how I am, of can they understand I'm going to go in isolation at random times. I'll have to like block out the world to then get to the next step. Or sometimes my mind is just racing and I just want to sit in clear peace, just, the world at its calmest. That has been easy for me when I realized I require that. So I'm just understanding that period of like, how do you maintain that trust with letting somebody get so much access to you? Like, you're gonna get access on my thoughts, on my habits, on my dreams and goals, no matter how like crazy they could seem for the moment. You're not having to trust that you don't think I'm crazy for actually wanting this stuff, or willing to go down the path, or willing to train, like, willing to cut off stuff that most of society and most people think this is needed or this has to happen, but only in a society that I guess we will actually live in, because there's other societies where they're so open to that next idea, and that's where I just don't like the feeling of living in a box, where I know that's what's going on sometimes, where one society doesn't let you open up in a certain type of way or be a certain type of person, but another society is completely normal. And you can see it, but in one place you're at, most people live in a bubble to where they can't see outside of that. So they don't want to accept that in you, or they don't like it. They don't see that as you. That's not the you that they met when they first met. So they don't want that to be a thing. And then sometimes their language will reflect that. And if people don't have, that type of intelligence, they can just be saying these things of how they feel and not understanding. They can be crushing your soul or your dream or anything, like, or they can be just tearing down a relationship from their words. That's the power of words. So I realized that, like, that commitment or that type of relationship is definitely difficult. It's doable. And then how do you, as the person that understands this, still deals with it when you don't know the other person understands that is needed? Like, the patience that you have to have is very hard, and that's when I always just decide, like, is the relationship worth it or not? Like, do I have the patience to withstand waiting for this person to understand and learn this and then adapt? And then can I trust that they're going to adapt once they actually get it? And I guess that's accepting someone for their journey and their path too.